Hi, I'm Matteo Rachocki, and I'm here to talk about Voodoo Brewing. So in 2010, my brother and I, Kurt, we decided to get involved in Voodoo Brewing. It was falling on some hard times, and they were looking to kind of get the business out of the funk that it was in. So we came in and brought some new ideas to not just the business model, but to the liquid as well. So my personal background, in college I started an event production company, so I was very much involved in hospitality and food and beverage, so the tap room was a really big part of something I really wanted to focus on. And my brother and I were homebrewing in the summer times when he'd come out and he'd work for my business. And we also at one point invested in a local tavern called the Roth School Tavern. It was formerly the Northgate Inn, and we had turned that into Meadville's first craft beer bar. And through that process, we got involved in Voodoo in an unofficial capacity, but met the original owner and kind of got involved in it that way. Yeah, so day one walking in to Voodoo, I remember I walked in the side entrance, and I basically walked into what I would explain is a mountain of garbage, basically. And it was kind of hard at that point to not turn around and walk back out. But I knew the business really needed some new momentum, and I really believed in it having an opportunity. And yeah, it was tough to put it together, but that's currently where the tap room exists. So the original brewery and tap room is 217 Arch Street, which is right downtown Meadville, intersecting roads Mulberry, and we're right across the street from the post office. So as best as I can tell from stories I've heard, the building is a buy-in building and was either a residence or commercial property, and they had stables out in the back, horse stables. And over years and years, the building became many, many things, everything from auto repair shop to cabinet maker that turned funeral director. It was a hair salon, it was like a disco round, it was a Arch Street furniture sales, which is what it was right before we took over the property for the brewery. And for a long time, the second floor was actually the American Legion. So part of the design of the tap room was to build like a faux drop ceiling out of old doors. A lot of them came from a collection that we picked from out in Lilydale, New York. But a few are actually from the building itself during renovations. If we took walls down or moved things, we were saving the doors. And one actually has the American Legion logo on it, and it's suspended when you first walk in the tap room. So we are thrilled to be involved and part of Meadville from a business standpoint, or basically every standpoint, but specifically as a business owner in Meadville, I can say that we opened the doors to our first tap room. We invested very heavily into the success of that. We put all those eggs in that basket. I remember I took the last $67 out of our checking account to make change on our grand opening day, and basically was like, hopefully this works. And the community immediately supported and embraced it. It was a very quirky and different model with like the European gastropub, no waitresses and servers and that kind of thing. But Meadville supported it from day one, and they continue to support it. So much so that we've been able to really expand our business outside of Meadville and kind of bring that Meadville pride, to other communities, which is very, very a special thing. In addition to that, some of the original financiers of this project, even prior to our involvement, was our local redevelopment authority and Economic Progress Alliance, which I can't speak enough about those organizations and what they do to incubate and foster and grow businesses and start new businesses. It's great for the entrepreneurial spirit here in Meadville. It's vital to our community and its future success. And when we were able to satisfy those original loans, we were able to go back a couple years later and dip into that pot again for our expansion project that we needed to build a second, larger production facility. And of course, we wanted to be here in Meadville, and it was great to be able to utilize those resources again. So I didn't come up with the name Voodoo, and honestly, we've gotten into the habit of we don't tell the story. We let people speculate. It kind of adds to like the mysticism behind the brand. There's a lot of really interesting theories if you Google it or you DuckDuckGo it. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's pretty cool. Honestly, I love working with my brother. I've worked with him obviously all through childhood, building forts and everything else. We're a year and 11 months apart, so we're really close in age. He's remarkable at what he does. I think he's one of the best brewers in the world. So get to work alongside that is inspiring, and it definitely keeps us both trying to over-compete with, carrying the load and working hard. We were instilled very early a pretty legitimate work ethic, and it definitely holds through. Him coming out to New York and working for my business out there, were some of the best times I ever had. We traveled together. He came to visit me in Australia when I was down there. And we've been really close, and it's great to do something with him, because to have that trust and that bond, I think is great. I know some people have a hard time working with family, and we get into our disagreements, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, you can always hug it out, and I take a lot of pride in getting to do this alongside him.